10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will praise you, O Lord, with all my heart. Before the gods, I will sing your praise. I will bow down toward your holy temple and will praise your name for your love and your faithfulness. For you have exalted above all things your name and your word. I surrender it all to you, O God. So many roads and chances I've taken. I've made many mistakes along the way.
Welcome to Prophetic Prayer Warrior Blog Talk Radio. I am your host, Kim Jackson.
And I'm your co-host, Taronda Hamilton.
Hey, Taronda, you know, when I did that announcement, I just realized we're not on Blog Talk. I need to take that out of my vocabulary. What has been so long? It was like, okay. Well, let's change this. I'm your host, Kim Jackson, and we're on Spreaker Radio, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and once we get it working real good, we're going to be back on Instagram. Hey, praise God, he gives us the ability and the tools to be able to do things like that.
Yeah, he gives you the ability. I'm just here talking, running my mouth. So thank you for your technical support.
Of course. You know, it's been a while since we've been back. Today,
Yes.
normally we'll have like a conversation where we talk about what's coming up, but not today. We have a few things I'd like to just talk about. Hopefully everyone tuned into our last show. That was in honor of our sister, Reverend Phyllis Ailes.
Yes.
I posted one of her shows where she was with Dr. Michael Fawkes, who was talking about, I can't remember the topic of that show, but I think it was, I can't remember. I'm not even going to say it, but I know it's out there. But my sister was a Blog Talk Radio podcaster, is where she did her ministry, and also she was a devoted person to God.
Yes.
And we just want to send out our homage to her because, you know, Seven Springs actually helped her get online.
Amen.
We reached out. Actually, she reached out to me, wanting to get some information on trying to do like a podcast. So we actually stepped in and we helped her get all the stuff that's needed for her podcast. And she's been doing it. I think she started in 2014 or 2015. It was a couple of years after we did.
Right.
So we want to keep her family, her wonderful daughters in our prayers, because her mother, their mother did a great job with those girls.
Amen.
A great job. Well, now I want to extend my apology to my sister who's on our show. I think it was last year. Lakeisha Lampkin. Yeah, you got to mix up and now.
Shout out to Lakeisha.
Shout out to her. We did a project together. She came in the studio. We did some recordings, and we was trying to get some things done. Well, the project kind of fell to a pause for a while. I was working with one of my other engineers, trying to get some things done, trying to get some music in the background of all hers, like make it out of a song.
Yeah. And actually, what we did with Lakeisha, she wrote a book.
Yes.
And it's called This Journey So Far, and it's available on Amazon. But we had her come into the studio, and she did some reciting for us out of her book. And today's show is going to be some of her clips.
I'm actually going to do a few of them. I'm going to let you hear them, and hopefully there'll be ones that I think you would like. We was trying to download the rest of them, but we still got to tweak them a little bit because the volume on it is just a little bit too low. So we're going to do some this time. We're going to do some next time. We're going to continue to use her poetry. Actually, we're going to implement them into our show, because a lot of her poetry is actually
very inspiring.
Yeah, I truly agree. Very inspiring.
And we would strongly encourage you to get the book. I read the book, I think, in a day or two. I mean, and then I had to go back over it. It was just a lot of things in there. I just read fast, but I did go back and kind of slowed down and took some things in. So
Yeah.
it's very inspirational. So
All right. Well, we ask you to just listen to these. There's a couple of we're gonna do one, then we're gonna come back, then we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna do another one. So just tune into us here at Prophetic Prayer Warrior. I'm not gonna say the blog talk. Prophetic Prayer Warrior Radio.
right.
Hold on.
I could have been doing this. Walking in my authority, taking my blessings. Guess I had to live right and learn some lessons. I could have been doing this, being a blessing to others, laying hold of my healing. I guess I had to learn with whom I was dealing. I could have been doing this, being made whole, walking in my destiny. Guess the only thing holding me back was me. I could have been doing this, experiencing real love instead of blindly pursuing it. But you were here all along, right in front of me, but I wasn't viewing it. I could have been doing this, but I'm grateful I learned how to seek you out first, because I'm doing it now.
All right. So,
Okay.
what is your thoughts about that? I could have been doing this.
Well, a lot of us tend to kind of procrastinate.
Oh, that's a good word. Procrastination is probably our last name, first name, and middle name.
Right. And from her experience, apparently there are some things in her life that she experienced. And it's like God was trying to take her to a different level, but it took her a minute to get there. And when she finally realized, hey, I'm here, I could have been doing this. And I think that's a lot of our testimony when we realize God's really trying to lead us someplace.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the sermon this morning where my sister, Reverend Lover, talked about being connected.
Right.
Because, it's there, but we take it for granted because, well, God is going to help us, but he's telling you to go within. I'm within you.
Exactly. Well, the illustration that she used this morning was a power plant that is in
Yes.
Kentucky. And the power plant is very upscale, apparently, if that's the better one word for it. But anyway, across the river from the office or whatever, they could see the houses along the riverside, and yet the houses still were using lanterns instead of the power from the source. And so the whole point was the power is in us. It's in us, but we're not connecting with it. And according to this poetry that we read, there's a lot of things we could have been doing, but we're not going within and recognizing the ability that God has given us.
Now, what's your thoughts? Why do you think some of us don't go within, or why we procrastinate? Is it because of fear, or is it because of we don't know?
I think it's both. It's a lot of the reasons why we don't connect. Sometimes it's because we don't realize, we haven't been taught, we don't know that power's in us. A lot of us have been taught to pray outwardly. We're looking up to heaven. We're looking to this and we're looking to that. We're looking for books, but we don't go within. We don't take the time to meditate and hear God's voice for ourselves. And that's what he said, it's in you. I will put my spirit in you. And if we go in and connect, but we're listening to the radio, we're listening to, great gospel music, but then we're not hearing what God is specifically saying to us from within.
Yeah, but most people say, well, that music just speaks to my spirit and it helps me get through the day. But I think that's only part of it, because I think the inward spirit helps you get through not just the day, but it helps you get through life.
Exactly. The day by day listening to the songs is just temporary.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear that song, then what happens? Do you lapse back into where you were? God is saying, you could have been doing this.
Yes. but you decided to procrastinate.
You decided, you let fear, and we forget that fear is not of God. So if you're afraid, then you should know that that's not God speaking, because he would not put fear in you.
No,
That's
he
not
wouldn't.
him. And so if we go in and trust, that's another factor,
Trusting. Yep.
trusting that God is going to fulfill what he said he's going to do. And when we remember what he's done before, that it should encourage us to say, okay, if he did it then, he's the same God today.
He's going to do it now.
He's going to do it now.
But this is just speaking from my experience and my testimony. I could have been doing this. I look at my life and it's like you get to a certain age and you're doing things that you should have done 10, 15, 20 years ago. And he's like, good gracious. Back then I had more energy. I probably had a little bit more time. Why am I doing this now? Is it because this is the season? Or is it because, God's saying you just so, what's the word I'm using? I'm going to use the word procrastinate. You just procrastinated for so many decades.
Decades, not days. You said
Yeah, decades.
Well, and even where we procrastinated for so many decades, or it wasn't until now that God wanted to manifest it.
Yeah,
The scripture tells us in the fullness of time. So whether it was back then, the thing is, just forget about the past. Remember ye not the former things. Don't consider the days. Behold, I want to do a new thing. And I'm going to do it now. So we just thank God for the now.
All right, we're thanking for the now. I'm not going to sit and dwell on the things that I should have, could have done.
Because we don't know. Because think of all the years of experience that you have now that you didn't have back then.
That is so true. Because I look at the ability to do the studio stuff. I wouldn't, in the years past, I don't think I would have pursued this. I'm going to be honest with you. Because it wasn't my forte. I mean, I love computers. I love working on mechanical stuff, but doing this, it just wasn't something I could foresee.
Kim, when I first met you, and I don't know how many decades ago that has been, but you were so timid and so quiet, you would not have done it.
No, I wouldn't have done it.
So me, we have grown into this. So while there's such a reality in, I could have been done that. But there's also a real reality, which is where our author came to the point of, but I'm here now.
Yeah, we're here now.
I'm here now.
I'm here now. And I'm going to keep doing this until God says, time to rest.
Amen.
Time to rest. All right, we're going to go to her next reading.
Okay.
I can't for sure because the title says the journey this so far. I didn't actually put the titles in it. So I'm going to have to, when I bring them over, I need to put the titles with these.
Okay.
Forgive me. This is only the things that I can see from my control, but I'm getting ready to play the next one. We'll talk about it.
Heaven on earth. Is heaven on earth an impossible dream? No, not impossible, though it may seem. If I can reap what I sow, it may be hard to conceive, but all things are possible to them that believe. Everybody has some heaven, believe it or not. We miss it sometimes looking at what we don't got. We only wish we had more because we take things for granted. Heaven's like a seed, it only grows if you plant it. I'll tell you a secret, there is only one way. If you want to multiply it, you have to give it away. Seeds only reproduce after their own kind. You can't plant lemon seeds and expect to get lime. Sow in gratitude, reap in love, then enjoy your harvest of heaven from above.
All right. Heaven on earth.
Yes, you can have it. You can have it.
All right. This is I love this one. I just love the way she did it.
Yes.
And I love the words within it.
Yes.
You can, what she said, you can't reap lemons.
If you plant lemons, you're not going to get limes.
Exactly. I love that.
You reap what you sow. And that's the whole thing. And if you want heaven on earth, then you have to plant those heavenly things, and you get them. Anything's possible. That's what she was talking about, the possibilities of God. And we tend to forget that through him, anything is possible.
But the two together, I should have been doing this in heaven on earth.
Yes.
It's almost like, I'm not for sure, but it's like it's like they went together for just this show.
And it's the interesting thing is, Kim, see, we didn't plan all of this.
No, we didn't.
It just seems like God is just kind of threading things together.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the end of this show, we're going to have a beautiful tapestry.
Heaven on earth. You know, it just makes me go back to this, just the things that Christ told us. I mean, he pretty much showed us everything that we needed in life, the love, the joy, the peace, what the Father has for us. But we got to the point to where we procrastinated in time because we've lost faith, or we let someone steer us away because they showed us, or they were showing us their way was better, but it actually wasn't. It was less.
Yeah. We lose focus. And
Yeah.
one of the things Lakeisha was saying was we look at what we don't got. Okay. What
Yeah.
we don't have. And that's a distraction because we can have what we desire if we connect to the source.
Yeah.
If we connect to the source, we can have those possibilities, but we're so busy looking at the media saying that, you know, times are bad, the economy's bad, but we forget we serve a great God.
We do.
And whether you have money or not, he can supply that need. And I think about the disciples when they were talking about their taxes and God told them, y'all just go fishing. And when you pull up that fish, open his mouth. He didn't tell him to go to work. He didn't tell him to go begging. He didn't tell him to go apply for this assistance. He said, y'all go fishing. So God may tell us the unusual to make the possible possible.
You know, I've been seeing the unusual.
Yes, you have.
It has been
2020 doubles.
the doubles. It's been to me it's now it's gone from doubles to triple.
Share with our listeners the doubles.
All right. Here's what happened to me about a month ago. I was at a gas station getting ready to pump gas for my car. I've already pumped it. I said, well, let me go in and see if I can get somebody at the gas station. Well, as I was walking behind my car and I saw this shiny object on the ground. Didn't pay attention because it didn't look like it was anything. So I kept walking. I walked a little further and I saw another shiny thing. Well, I noticed that this shiny thing was a quarter. I said, huh. In my thought, I said, let me go back and check the other one. So I went back and checked the other one. It also was a quarter. So that started actually, that was the second double thing I saw. The first one, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. But that one was so interesting to me. The first one I saw, I have two accounts. And in my lifetime, I have never, ever in my 50 odd years seen this in my accounts. I got two accounts. One, the same day that I saw the quarters, I checked my accounts. I said, let me check it. My accounts had the same dollar amount, same cent amount on this one day. And I didn't plan this. I said, well, I'm going to take it out, make it even, make them look alike. I just noticed it one day when I checked it on my phone. So that's interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. The possibility of having the same exact amount in two different accounts. It's just, the possibilities are just,
And
one in 1,000.
But then I'm going to tell you this. My wife, I told her about it as I was driving around. She said, just lottery playing. I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and play lottery. She said, did you check to see if it's on the lottery? I said, no. I said, let me call you back. All right, the amount in my account was 106. I said, huh. I was at the gas station sitting. I said, huh, cash 3. It fell, what was it? I think it wasn't 106. It was like 601 or 610. I said, that's amazing, huh? But it fell at noontime. That's all right. Then after that, that's when I found the quarters. But on that Friday of the same week, I went to a conference. and we had a speaker. He started speaking over us,
Amazing.
and the message that he kept saying was double, 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 double. I said, okay, that's interesting. And then I had a job that I did on Saturday. I got paid for the job. I said, okay, left. But then the owner's home that I went to, he wanted me to take him somewhere. So I was going to take him somewhere. But then he reached in his pocket and handed me 2 20s, which has started another double. I said, this is becoming a trend. So then I started telling people, you got to, this God is showing that next year is going to be a year of double.
2020.
But it's starting to get past the double because I'm starting to see triples.
That to me would represent the Trinity.
I don't know what it is. But this morning, I said, okay. I said, I've been kind of blurring away from the sevens. I had a car that passed by me one morning. It had 777 on it. Then I saw another one that had 555. Then I was doing a job at Kroger's, and as I was leaving, they was telling me throughout the whole time I was in Kroger's, I was in there for like over an hour and a half of them.
Oh, I would never go to the store with you.
Buy 5, get 5 free. That's what it was saying when I walked out the door. I said, okay, that's funny. Is this these things are coming? Then this morning I said, well, let me weigh myself. I've been gaining a little pound, trying to lose a little weight. The scale said 777. I ain't gonna tell you the first part, but it was 77.7. I said, okay. I told my wife who's getting ready to go to church, I said, I looked at the scale and it gave me 77.7. She said, huh. Then we was driving out of the subdivision. I saw 3 squirrels playing. Okay. I said, see, it keeps coming up. God went from doubles to triples.
Okay, so which made what happened in worship this morning all the more important.
Yeah. And what happened in worship, you'll love this one. We started out in prayer. We do like a pre-worship prayer. And we played this song by Tasha Cobb. All right. Haven't talked to anyone in the service about the song we played.
We talked about that sermon, you and I, that Saturday, and we did it that Sunday.
Yep.
So there was no communication.
All right, then we go. Our worship leader gets up and they sing this same song. I like, okay, that's cool, double. All right, then we sat down, went a little bit further. Then they had the dance mention, same song.
3 times in one worship service, and nobody spoke to anybody. The young adults, the young ladies have been practicing that song for weeks, and nobody knew. The praise team gets up and sings that song. We decided yesterday to sing the same song. God is trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Not by power, not by might, but by my spirit, says the Lord.
So the Trinity, what is God doing? The double, the triples, it's something. It's a message that He's given us. I know not by our might, but by His Spirit.
Stay connected to the source if you want to be a part of what He's going to do, the new thing He's doing. Stay connected to the source. And for those of you that are not connected, get connected, because God's going to do some mighty things.
Yes, He is. I mean, what He's been showing me is things. I know you may be in a situation where things may look hopeless. Things is not going your way. And it seems like that no matter what you do, things always fall short. But God is telling me in this year coming, put whatever you've been going to on the shelf, in the trash, wherever you want to put it out of your sight. Because going into this new year, He doesn't want you to look back. He wants you to look forward. I mean, just like my sister that got changed into a pillar of salt. What's her name?
Lot's wife?
Lot's wife.
Okay.
When Lot told her not to look back, do not look back, but she did. when she looked back, she lost her blessing. So going forward, God is saying, keep looking forward. Don't look back on what you went through. Don't go look back on what you left. Don't look back on things that you have held on to, but look forward. This is going to be the year of coming out of Egypt.
Amen. Amen. Here, and listen to these words one more time, and then we'll move on to the next song. But again,
I only had those two that I pulled down.
Oh, okay. Well,
we're going to do the next one next time.
All right, next time. I'm going to read this again because there's a message here, and I don't want us to miss that message. Heaven on earth. Is heaven on earth an impossible dream? Not impossible, though it may seem. If you can reap what I sow, if I can reap what I sow, it may be hard to conceive, but all things are possible to them that believe. Everybody has some heaven, believe it or not. We miss it sometimes looking at what we don't got. We only wish we had more because we take things for granted. Heaven's like a seed. It only grows if you plant it. I'll tell you a secret. There's only one way. If you want to multiply it, you have to give it away. Seeds only reproduce after their own kind. You can't get lemon seeds and expect to get limes. Sow in gratitude, reap in love, then enjoy your harvest of heaven from above. Yeah, you can have it if you can believe it, if you can see it, and then give it away.
That's that joy.
That's that joy. Share it.
Yeah, because if you take the joy that God give you and you decided to hold on to it, it won't multiply.
Nothing. You know, one of my sons said one sermon that he remembered most from our pastor. I'm actually originally from Kansas City, Kansas. And he said the pastor's sermon part of the sermon was, you cannot expect to receive from God if your hand is closed.
Yep.
Open it up and give it away. And you're making room for God to put more into it. That's a shout out to my son, Derek Hamilton.
Hey. And he says, so you talking about it. Here's another scenario I got. You can't fill a cup when it's already full.
Exactly. There's no more room.
No
more room. Now, but you know what? Now, when I think about that, if you allow that cup, one of the things I really like, an illustration that God shared with me some time ago was how the Spirit of God, and that's what we've been talking about.
Yep, the Spirit of God. How
the Spirit of God works in us. If we allow ourselves to be just an open cup, and imagine that open cup having some of the blackest coffee that you've ever seen, sitting in it, just sitting there. And as long as it just sits there, it gets stale and weaker, and it gets, really bad, gross looking. But if you will allow God's Spirit, which represents water, to just kind of trickle down into that cup of black coffee and let it flow and continue to flow, it'll start to overflow, and all that black gook is going to start to come up and pull over to the sides and spread out till eventually it turns clear like the Spirit. And that flow reminds me of a scripture we used to talk about, where it talks about the waters. It starts off at the ankles deep, and then it goes up to the knee. And so as we allow God to pour into us, into the point of overflow, it not only saturates us, but everything and everybody around us. I'm getting excited. I like this book.
See, this show, I guess we're bringing a new, not a new view of the book. We're just bringing out the things that we're experiencing now. Mm-hmm. So I guess the time that we had the book, we shared it with our listeners, but it wasn't time for us to talk deep about it. I want to continue this conversation about her book all the way to the end. Actually, what I like to do is actually bring her back and do some of the poetry live on air with us again.
And she's willing.
So I do not want to push her aside, because I believe this is the season. And most people are going to hear that a lot. This is the season for this type of message, because over the last couple of decades, we've all been hurting. We went through during the time of the Obama era, where the country was trying to survive
Prior years.
Yeah, prior years. Trying to survive that collapse of the economy. And now we're in what we call the Trump years. Most people see Trump as the trumpet that's announcing to what's coming. And the more that I listen to him, the more that I get into the prophetic journey, I can see that to be true. Because what he's announcing is that the things that have been hidden are being revealed.
Yes.
The things that you lost hope in are going to give you hope back. So God is telling us in this here goes that word again, in this season, that things are going to change for those who are looking for the change, those who've been praying for years, those who've been at the sideline saying, Lord, help me. I know you may look outside where you're at, and you could be in Canada, you can be in West Coast, you can be in East Coast. One side you can see fires, the other side you can see rain, the other side you may see the snow.
Right.
But don't look at where you're at. Look at where God is getting ready to take you. Because I believe in my heart, and I know in my spirit that God is getting ready to stir the waters of this earth.
Wow.
I mean,
pour it to me. I'm an open cup.
it's like he keeps showing small messages to me. I mean, they make you go wild, but then you share. Well, you look at them and say, okay, and you say, I hear it, but then you start sharing with people, and you start seeing what he's doing. It's almost like someone is removing small bits of things, or either depositing small things into you.
We know the scripture says, despise not the day of small things. And we miss a lot because we overlook those small things.
Because we're looking for that big cloud boom.
And yet, if you think about it, like in the poetry, a seed is small.
Yes.
But look what fruits can come from that little small seed.
Yeah, what I said, mustard seed is like a millimeter, but it grows into the biggest branch or tree.
And that size faith can move a whole mountain.
Yeah.
So despise not the day of small things, and plant good seeds. That was the other focus. Make sure we're planting good seeds.
Yeah.
Not seeds of frustration, of doubt or negativity, but good seeds. God has given us hope. He's given us a promise.
Yeah.
And he is faithful.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about that, spreading good seeds, or actually putting out poison, what I call it, where people will just tell you the bad things and never give you any good things. You know, if you're a person that loves to hang around negative, and you don't like to hear positive things, you don't believe the positive, what you're doing is you're actually putting a cloud over your spirit. And by putting that cloud over your spirit, you're pretty much stunning your growth as far as spiritually.
You're blocking the sun.
Yes, that's good. That's a good analogy.
You're blocking the sun.
Yeah. To me, surround yourself with people who believe, people who have that crazy faith.
People of light.
Yes. Not the people of darkness.
Stay away from the shadows.
See, I believe we're getting ready to leap, and I've heard it so many times for so many years. Oh, God's getting ready to move you into a year, and the year comes, and you sit there
What
in
happened?
your chair. What's going on? I don't see nothing. Clouds still the same. Everything's still the same. But I don't think this year coming up is going to be like that.
Well, you know, I think part of what's coming up, and I'll let you finish, Kim, is like you said, we sit around looking around trying to figure out what's going on. But the message is the spirit within.
Yeah. The spirit within is telling us something's
Spirit
coming.
within. It's not on the outside.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I've been feeling, especially with the weather changing. It's like a few days ago, I got in my car and somebody say, you're supposed to be doing something else. It's just certain things have been triggered. I've been getting triggered by smells, sounds, feel of the weather. It's just certain things are triggering, like I want to say childhood memories or different thing. When I was younger, I could always tell when something was getting ready to happen in my life because I could feel it in the atmosphere, and it's almost bringing me back to that childlike thought. It's like I get out of somewhere, you know, I just need to either go to the mountain, just sit somewhere. But it's just, I'm beginning to feel like I'm on my seat waiting for that Christmas day. See, I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't want to be anxious, but I do feel like I'm expecting something. And it keeps, it's if it ain't the smells, it's the sound, it's the atmosphere, the weather, something is telling me that something is coming.
Something exciting.
Yes. And it's like the joy just it just bubbles up. It's like I know people may think, well, he's just as crazy as can be. No. That doesn't happen. Well, let's put it to you this way. Let's go back to your childhood. When you was a little kid and that special day coming, your birthday coming, you getting ready to see your best friend because you ain't seen them in a while, or Christmas coming, or you getting ready to get out of school for Thanksgiving or the holidays. Do you remember that feeling?
That joy.
It's like you had no cares in the world. It's just that joy. That's what's been on me. But not only that, it's like even surrounding. It's like all the pressure is trying to stop me from feeling that joy. But it's just,
it's like a battle of the oppression and the expectation trying to blow up.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a fight right there, but you know that that oppression is going to fail. It's going to fail. And you just cannot wait to see the manifestation of what is going to happen.
I know. It's like, you know, this year, me and my family, we had decided to not celebrate Thanksgiving together. We did it last year. But what we do is we do it the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. We get together. My mom, we do like a hors d'oeuvres, and we sit and talk. And the pressures of Thanksgiving is not there.
Okay.
Then Thanksgiving, we spend it in our home. We talk to each other, say, hey, how you doing? And we just relax. So this is the second year that we're doing this. And it's just seemed like the changes your mind about Thanksgiving or just being thankful. It's like it's just a switch. And I believe that God is saying, okay, I know the way that you used to celebrate. I know the things you used to do, but I'm going to switch it. I'm going to move your days just a little bit.
That's the way. And we have to be flexible because that's kind of the way we do Christmas.
Yeah.
We celebrate as a family Christmas Eve. And we always have a Christmas Eve celebration, dinner, whatever you want to call it. We get together, we clown, we, play around, whatever. And then on Christmas morning, everybody's at home celebrating with their families. Well, you can get a phone call or whatever, but we're just relaxing and chilling and everybody's happy. So there is no pressure. The kids want to stay home, play with their toys, or you just want to relax because you've just had a really rough week. So, and that's what God is telling us, to make a shift in our worship. A shift in our relationship with Him. Get out of the norm because He wants to do something different, and it will be exciting and relaxing at the same time.
That's why I can't wait. I know most people, well, the New Year's coming, God's going to do a new thing. No, I believe God's doing this thing now.
He's moving into it, and you want to go with the flow.
He's just saying, I'm here. I'm waiting on you. I'm at the other side of the bridge, sitting, chilling, drinking my coffee. When you going to come on?
When you coming?
So I'm getting ready to come, Lord. I'm getting ready to come. So, today was just a day just about conversation. We're talking about pretty much the journey so far. And we're talking about our experience of things that are coming up for us as individuals in this new year. And the visions that God has shown on in the double numbers.
And I wanted to give another shout out for Lakeisha's book, Lakeisha Lampkin. It's called This Journey So Far. And the amazing thing about this is it says so far. It's not my journey, because see, my journey is still continuing. And that within itself is another message. God is saying this journey so far.
Hold that book up so we can see it on Facebook.
Can you put it on there? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see it on
Awesome.
Facebook. See this journey so far. We want you to look at this book. Pull this book up. Is it on is it Amazon?
Amazon.
Look at it on Amazon. We'd like for you to support your sister. She is a sister with great spirit, and this is pretty much, because we had talked to her before, it's like her life journey. She has wrote it in the book, and I think someone who's going through hard times, I think this book could be spiritual healing for you. So look it up on Amazon.
It's very encouraging.
And if you can't find it, reach out to us. You can reach us at prophetic.prayer.warrior@gmail.com and let us know that if you can't find it. We will send you a link back how to find her book.
Amen.
If you want a signed copy now, that's a different thing.
If that's what they want to sign copy, then we'll have to connect her with the author herself, and yes, she can handle that.
Well, yeah, we could. We sure can
do that. I'm sure she would love to do that.
Yeah, I think she would too. I think she would love the attention.
Amen.
P.P.W. has been around since 2014. We started out as a ministry that God given to us as a vision. Never knew that it would turn into what it is now.
Never.
Going forth as P.P.W., our goal is to reach anyone who has a book. Now, let me back this up a little bit. Let me back this up a little bit. A book dealing with spiritual growth. A book dealing with maybe your testimony. But look, in some of you got testimonies that get real deep and get real intuitive. That's the word I would use.
I'm gonna leave it alone. We won't take just any book. We just make it that clear. We will not do any book, but we do want to promote those that have words of encouragement, words of enlightenment.
Yes.
Words that will edify, words that glorify God. So if you have that kind of book, again, yes. Kim will give you our email address. Just hit us up and see and we'll be glad to promote you.
Now, if you want to do spoken word, now we would love to at the first of the year. We're looking for those who do spoken word just to come in and sit and talk with us. We'd like to see where, your spoken word, how it became to what it is, or especially if it's a spoken word that's spiritually lifting or edifying.
Only.
Only. We can't do them.
Okay, they know. They know.
So
if it drops in your spirit, drop us a line.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going to try to reach out and do more. I mean, we're growing as a podcaster show, but we want to make it a little bit, extend out a little bit further. Our goal is next year, hopefully we can do some outreach to try to promote what we do. Now, Prophetic Prayer Warriors is not just a podcast. This is actually a ministry that God has given us.
Yes.
Not only my ministry. I'm finna throw her up under the bus. Watch this.
Keep pushing.
Taronda, now what's your ministry?
Keep pushing, Kim.
I'm going to keep pushing. What is your ministry, Rick?
Oh, God. Restoration's Open Door.
Restoration Open Door.
Amen.
My goal is to get her to do her own show up on the Seven Springs studio. Restoration Open Door.
Praise the Lord.
And she does something called conversation, where she sits and just talks. And my goal is to be able to sit down and do a conversation. Now, we did a couple of test shows this year where we sat down with a couple of pastors, and she sat and talked with them and to see what they offer and what area they cover. We want to probably do a little bit more of that, but I won't do too much more, because next year, as far as ministry, we do not only the P.P.W. as a ministry, but we also do our ministry at Turner.
Yes.
Turner Chapel AME. Shout out Turner.
Shout out to Turner. Our pastor, Reverend Dr. Tariway Richard Allen Bright, and his beautiful, beautiful wife, Rita Bright. Shout out to them. Turner Chapel AME Church in Marietta, Georgia, because there are two.
Yeah, there are two. Dr. Bright. I had to cut his name short, say Dr. Bright, because
Okay.
it just sometimes if I try to say his whole name,
It's a long one.
yes. But shout out to Turner. We're members there. We've been members for many years. My daughter was, God, she wasn't even born when I was a member. My daughter's 25 years now, so it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
So we're trying to do ministries in both areas,
Yes. Alive.
but
With
this
joy.
with joy, yeah,
With joy.
with joy. Well, hopefully this year we can announce some of the things that Turner's doing and some of the things that P.P.W. is doing, because I want to not only keep P.P.W. connected with Turner, I want you as members of the ones who watch via the YouTube, Facebook, Spreaker, Instagram, Spotify. I want you to also be part of our Turner family. Even though you may not be here in Georgia, that don't mean you can't join us for worship.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. So P.P.W. is a ministry that's trying to promote and help people who are in ministry get their voices out there. We're not looking for any financial assistance to help those that are trying to get out there. But if you like to donate, we might start something next year to donate to support P.P.W. But hey, we'll see how God leads us. I'm not going to push this too far, but hey, I believe God's going to take us to a place.
He's
So-
done all of this
Yes, he has.
without donation, so he's more than able.
Yeah. So Taronda, so when we move forward, we're gonna
Yes.
keep in touch with Lakeisha, and we
I got
hopefully get her onto the couch so you can sit down and talk with her.
We could do that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. God, we're gonna pray that
We gonna
God
do that.
God continue to, because I like to see the what, like I put it, I like to see the gifts in people grow. I'm finding out that this is the reason that P.P.W. exists, for me to help others see their potential, not to get any financial assistance from it or get any financial blessings from it, but I believe, and I truly believe this, that God is going to give P.P.W. what it needs to reach out to others.
Amen.
So as we go into our little last few minutes, Red, what you got on your mind? Anything that we could share with the people today? Anything, any blessings?
No, the only thing again to me that really stood out today is getting connected to the source
Yes.
and not looking outward or upward. When David said, I will look unto the hills from which cometh my help, that was prior to when Jesus said, my spirit I'm going to put in you. So we don't have to look upward, outward, from our ears. All we have to do is go within and be quiet and listen for that small, still voice and trust it that it will do and lead you where God wants you to be. We're on this journey only thus far, but there's a whole long way ahead of us. And that way is the best way for our lives and our families.
I totally agree. Well, I'm not going to touch that. That's a God moment. I will leave that alone.
Okay.
But we want you to continue to join us. This is not our usual hour show. We're going to cut it at 50 minutes because we're going to continue to try to seek what God is telling us. And I don't think when God has poured into us and we poured out, I think it's for us to stop where we're at and let what we shared marinate with our listeners.
Yes.
And we're going to be back on our next show. It's getting busy for us. It's getting really, really
Real
busy.
busy.
God is moving us. Our next show will be on the 27th at 4:00 p.m. If we're not live, look out for us because we may end up doing what we call a quick shout out to our listeners to let you know.
A little pop-up.
Yeah, a little like a holla.
Yeah, we like to call them just little pop-up.
Little pop-ups. because we're trying to do something different. There's a lot of podcast shows out there that deal with the spiritual side. And I'm not trying to be one that beats you over the head with a Bible.
We just trying to share a little love and a little joy and
trying
a
to share a
little
little
laughter.
love.
That's it.
We do have a line here where people could call in, but we don't want you calling just yet. We're going to try to do a few things and get it to where we can make it to where you can call in and just share with us your testimony, share with us your thoughts. You may want to call in and say, you know, I have a spiritual book I want to share. And if it's one that we can agree upon, we will let you share it online. You know, we got to be careful now. There's certain things we try not to do.
Or try not to say.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think before we could do that, we would have to actually see a copy of the book.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I just want to make that clear because it wasn't when you said this, like, don't call up and say, hey, I got a book. Let me read you some excerpts.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. See, you can tell she's the correction side of this show. But we're going to keep on going.
Amen.
And then if you want to reach us, you can reach us at prophetic.prayer@gmail.com. Again, that's prophetic.prayer. I missed it the first time.
Yes.
prophetic.prayer.warrior@gmail.com. You got to get it right?
You got it that time.
If we don't do this for fun, then we don't need to do this at all.
Amen.
We want to thank you for joining us. Continue to watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. And you can also listen to our live podcast shows on Spreaker. Join us again. We're coming out of Seven Springs Studio doing our broadcast. So please join us. Continue to listen to us. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.